take one, marker.
For Complex News, I'm Natasha Martinez, sitting down with TDE's prodigal son, Isaiah Rashad, who's already making me laugh. You did. Well, first and foremost, welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
Because you've been, it's been some time, 5 years.
I quit counting. Yeah.
So how does it feel to finally be at the point when you're now getting ready to release The House is Burning? I heard you've been working on it for like 4 years?
About 2 years. I've been working on this project for about 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what it was at first. I never know any of them really are. But we here now. I'm happy to be here. It's kind of crazy.
Definitely crazy.
Not as overwhelming as you would assume.
Really?
But it's kind of, yes, it's overwhelming.
Because I feel like the anticipation for this album is like out of control, and just reading what your fans have been wanting from you, and articles being published like he's back, do you feel that major pressure?
I kind of mentally prepared myself for this prior to this.
Okay.
Especially it was a time when I didn't think I was gonna do this anyway, and I guess some of the more darker parts of shit. So making it to this point is like, all I gotta do is do this shit anyway. Just gotta do it, have fun with it, and that's really it. It's like getting my engine started by itself. Like, I guess like the subject matter on the album isn't self-deprecating or like too much like villainizing myself or like hurting myself. So to like come from a hopeful standpoint in the midst of everything being kind of weird was the most challenging thing.
So you're in a hopeful place right now?
I'm in a very hopeful place right now, yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
What do you think is the biggest difference between your last project, The Sun's Tirade, and then the release now? Probably
the difference in self-awareness. Like, not necessarily blinded by my own ego, I'd say that. Musically, I don't know, if you was like a real ass fan of mine, and like from like way back like to the peaks of right when I signed to TG, you can see that I like dabbled in a lot of shit. And so more than anything, I'm like kind of better at what I dabble in. It's still a whole bunch of shit on the project, but it's like more defined. There's a whole bunch of shit on there.
And I'm so excited to get into that. But I want to ask you, like, when you were taking time for yourself, did you have a fear that your fans maybe wouldn't wait around for 4 or 5 years to listen to new music? Was that a worry of yours?
Nah, I'm pretty in tune with what type of music I be making. And I talk to these kids on Discord and Reddit and all that shit, so they pretty patient with me. And I do I was doing the little leaks myself, little Instagram live things where I just play music.
Yeah.
Kind of like let people know what direction I was going or that type of stuff. So I never had a pressure. I had to like put something out. It was more so when I put it out, it had to be good.
Definitely, you have to follow through, right? Of course, as you always do. Now, talking about Instagram Live, in 2019, you did hop on and you were kind of heated and talking about how everyone's like, where's the music, when you were at a point in your life?
I went to rehab like 2 months after that.
Okay, what was the point when you decided that enough was enough and you needed to go in, and who did you reach out to first?
I called Matt and Top. I woke up and I didn't know where I was at. And I know where I'm at. I know where I was at now in reflection, but I didn't know where I was at. And I'm like, this is a bad time. So I took an Uber from where I was at to Matt's crib. And I just was like, yo, it's time for me to go, like, give it up. Give up, thinking I was in control of anything. I'm not in control of nothing.
Was there any hesitation coming back to Top after, almost being kicked out of TDE not once but twice? Were you hesitant to reach out?
That was off work ethic, though. That was off a lack of work ethic. That didn't have nothing to do with him like caring about me or shit like that. So I ain't never felt the way about coming to talk to him when it was something serious. No, never.
So you guys always have that
to this
pretty
day.
Open relationship.
Yeah, to this day, it's easy.
That's amazing. Well, very proud of you, and
thanks.
All of the luck and prayers and everything.
I need it, baby.
So back in April, he posted something about May 7th, and everyone was just clamoring, like, who's dropping? Who from TDE is dropping? We obviously are in the midst of SZA season. We're getting ready for the album.
Amen.
But I have to ask you, are you the first of the album rollouts for TDE? Are we getting Kendrick, SZA, or maybe Q later this year?
Man. I don't know, nigga. I don't know. Maybe. I've heard the music is good.
Okay.
Music's really good.
So you've heard it yourself?
Yeah, I've heard the music.
Any vibes that you can?
I can't tell you nothing.
Okay, we'll see about that.
You know it's good.
Of course.
It's us.
TDE always has that,
It's
that
us.
level. Now, let's talk a little bit more about TDE. I want to ask, like, what do you feel like it is that sets it apart from other collectives? Besides, obviously, the talent, what about the culture makes you guys so different?
Man, I was sitting with Top yesterday, and we was just going over like old ass, just Southern shit that I like, and I think the culture comes from the top down. He open-minded to a lot of shit, which allows everybody else to be open-minded on the management side, which allows the artists to be open-minded. You even think about where they come from. They like coming from Watts, Compton, you know what I'm saying, Los Angeles, all these different parts, Carson, and then the music they made out of that. Mm-hmm. And it's like where I come from Chattanooga, and if you know about where I come from, like the type of music I make doesn't necessarily reflect where I come from all the way, even though it got that in there. Mm-hmm. So that's the whole culture. Like I think that's why I blended so well from the jump. In the same way, like SZA being from Jersey, you wouldn't necessarily know that based off that. It all blend because the culture is like being open-minded and being willing to take a risk, take a chance. So it's easy. I mean, it's like it's been taught from the top down.
Yeah. What risks are you taking with The House is Burning?
I do so many genres of music and so many different things, and I'm scared of what a nigga might like or what might not like. Sometimes it be the song that I like the least that people like the most. Mm-hmm. So I'm just hoping that somebody like the song that I picked out of the songs that I picked on there, out of the batch of all the shit that we put on there.
Well, I think everyone liked what we did end up getting on May 7th, which was Lay With Ya featuring Duke Deuce.
Shout out to Duke Deuce, by the way.
Yeah, what was it about him that made you want to bring him on for the first single in your return?
Man, Memphis, and it's a Tennessee thing. I ain't never put out no song with somebody from Tennessee, and then like, the homie Cole made the beat, then you can just know when it's a 3/6 sample. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, damn, who I want to get on it? And that was the one that I was like, I had only had the one verse, and I'm like, I ain't finishing unless we get Dolph on it. I mean, not Dolph,
Duke.
Duke.
But Dolph, we'll talk about him later.
That's a whole different story. We got something crazy about that. Yeah. But no, I couldn't finish it without Duke. The same way I couldn't finish his other two songs unless I had these people I wanted on them. You
brought up 3/6, the sample. Was that an intentional decision to have their like Memphis Blueprint in your first song out?
I'm from Tennessee so heavy that I know so much 3 6 Mafia music that people would be, I guess they'd be surprised if nobody, I say Chattanooga all the time. People don't, Chattanooga, Tennessee, like I'm from the South. And so it's necessary for me. I typically try to avoid it just so I wouldn't be doing something easy. Like that type of shit kind of come off as like doing something way too easy to me. Mm-hmm. This time it was just natural.
So you brought up Young Dolph. I know that you're just really ready to work with him. So is that in the works yet? Because it hasn't happened yet, right?
Maybe.
Okay, give me the story.
Maybe, it's no story. Sometimes I be smoking and shit, and I hop on Twitter and say some shit. And that was one of the things I said, like, I can't finish it without Dolph. It was facts, that's how I felt right then. But yeah, like, no, he's just like somebody I looked up to for a long time. I've been listening to him since I was about 17. And to see somebody like go from, you thinking they can hit a peak or some shit, and they do another peak, and then they go and grab other artists like Key Glock and all that type of shit. I just more so look up to him than anything else. It's beyond rap. I just like how he do his shit. More so, I just salute somebody being from a similar environment as me, from the South, making a way beyond rap, beyond a friendship. I salute him from over here.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So speaking of collaborators, on The Sun's Tirade, we did have a Kendrick and SZA feature on that album. Yeah. And I noticed that you've been on every SZA project and she's been on every one of yours. So are we going to get either a SZA or Kendrick feature for The House is Burning?
Who knows? Maybe. That one seems plausible.
Which one, SZA or Kendrick?
Seems
both?
plausible.
Both seem plausible.
Seems plausible. Seems like a very good possibility. If I can't get none away, I don't think I'm gonna give away this Duke Deuce. Okay. We got Duke on there. We got Cal on there.
Kenny Beats.
We got the homies. We got Kenny Beats on there.
Yeah. Speaking of singles, one of your new singles is coming out. Yeah. Headshots.
That's it. Okay, what's up? Yeah, let's talk about it.
Are you just finding this out?
I'm just finding that shit out.
Okay, tell us about Headshots and you're really excited. That's your favorite.
It's my favorite.
Okay, tell us about it. Any features on that or just you?
No, it's just me.
Okay.
It's just me and I'm inspired by a couple people. You know, I give them a little sing on, give them a little rap on.
You singing? Okay.
Come on.
Okay.
They thought I was just gonna take it all the way Memphis.
Hey, I like it.
Man, honestly, it's like one of my favorite songs on the album.
Okay.
I think it's been floating around. It's the one they really asked for. I don't think they know it's called Headshots, but it's one they was floating around for. It's one they really excited about. So. Did
you tease it on your Instagram Live?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a big one.
It's a big one?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a big one.
And why is that?
Cause it's the one. It's the one they wanted.
Okay.
All the other ones they wanted, they didn't get. This is the one they got. This is fun though. It's probably my favorite song now. The way it came about, it's probably the most rappy type of way. I was writing this shit in the car. It was on the way to the studio. I was writing in the car, basically just rap about everything that was going on around the car and make it kind of coincide with whatever I was trying to say. And the way my shit usually works, that at the end of it, no matter what I said, it kind of makes sense.
Okay.
It's one of those.
Is that how your normal creative process is?
Yup. Every song I've ever made, I did not know what the fuck I was talking about until I got done with it. And I'm like, depression. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, okay, it's about my mom or it's about some love. Well, as long as I just usually follow the spirit, man. And this is one of them.
I saw the mist and took off. All right, here we go. Action!
Obviously, signing in 2013 with TDE, do you ever have those thoughts of, if you hadn't been going through those personal struggles and addiction, that your career would already be at a certain point? And how do you deal with those thoughts? Because sometimes that can be debilitating. You don't? Okay.
I don't. I'm a firm believer in creating your own destiny and recognizing your story. If it would have happened, it would have happened. It ain't happened. And it seems like it's going pretty well to not have happened that way. I can't count on one finger somebody who done put out nothing in 5 years and get this type of reception. So I'm not Nas, baby. So.
Definitely, I love that. Okay, let's talk about some misconceptions though, because I feel like
there are some?
With TDE, a lot of people, specifically with Top and Punch, give them so much heat on Twitter. I mean, just the other day, SZA was defending Punch.
It's never their fault. It's usually our fault.
Okay.
We just deflect.
So that's awesome. The misconception, is it's on them, but really.
It's never on them.
Okay.
It manages. We gotta do it. So it's not ready till we're ready. Well, they just take the heat. That's why it's so great.
It seems like you are finally ready. I want to get more into The House is Burning. You know, you described the son's tirade as being this long ass rant. There's like a level of upsetness to it. So how would you describe The House is Burning? How do you explain the title?
It's like recognizing, like I said, like, actually it all kind of ties back together. The difference between me and them and the music and everything kind of comes in the title. The son's tirade, center of my tirade, center of my own universe, talking shit about how terrible things is. The house is burning is me recognizing that it's not about me. I can't do shit about anything outside of myself, even that house. And so, you know, to go in depth to that, like this, it's kind of like that. It's like house is burning is about recognizing you have no control.
Yeah.
Just recognize what's going on. Like, you gotta be aware of it. And that's it. And so the music reflects that too.
And I know that the album isn't out yet, but you did mention it's not going to take another 5 years before you release music.
No,
so what do you have up your sleeve?
Who knows? I'm not really into making, I've never made a concept album. Other people have made a concept out of it. I just be making projects. So it's just like, it gotta be ready to like my standard of it being good. It gotta show you that I grew some. It gotta show you that I'm listening and understanding where music's at right now. I'm not an island, even though people like to act like it. You know what I'm saying? I'm part of a whole thing. So to know what the culture I'm in and adjusting music, I don't know, just staying, hip hop, staying current, I guess.
Definitely.
As terrible as that sounds sometimes, you have to stay aware of what's going on. So I can put out another one whenever after this.
Definitely.
After we get done with this chapter.
Definitely. On to the next chapter. Now, if you could describe where you're at in your life personally right now.
30.
Got it.
Tired. But I'm not tired. I'm over this shit, but I'm with the shit though.
Okay.
It's like a little bit of everything, you feel me?
I love that. 30.
I'm hungry, but I'm starving. But I'm full though.
With the heartburn.
You ain't have to get my business out like that. Yeah, you tell me one thing. Oh my God, yeah. With the heartburn.
You're talking to a reporter here.
With the heartburn, yeah.
With the heartburn.
With the heartburn.
I did hear that you have a lot of tracks that didn't make it on The House is Burning.
Album worth.
An album worth.
Album and a half worth.
So are you gonna put that on a deluxe or have a whole nother album?
If it don't go on a deluxe, I'll probably never use any of those. And just listen to them like I do everything else. All the other 200-300 songs that I listen to by myself that nobody else ever hear.
Why won't you share them with the world?
Because if I wasn't doing this professionally, I would still be doing this. I just trust God, and I don't really expect nothing out of myself except that. So I like having music of my own to listen to, so I keep it. I make songs for me only to hear.
Okay. But thankfully, we are gonna hear the songs that are on The House is Burning.
Heck yeah.
So, if you could sum up just the feel of it and the message behind the album, how would you describe that?
It's definitely about being self-aware, and it's definitely about taking care of yourself, and it's a lot of it is about confronting and accepting your own responsibilities and your actions. Because you play a blame game a lot with yourself. I think I played the blame game on the Sun's tirade. I know I was blaming the outside on Sylvia. This is more of I didn't want to blame myself and hurt myself more, but I had to like confront.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What was in front of me. And you want to burn in the house? You want to leave? Is it worth staying, collecting your little valuables and catching that first degree burn, all that type of shit? It's not worth it. So it's about making a choice for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you come to make that choice for yourself?
It was beyond staring in my face being like, do I want to rap or not rap anymore? Or do I want to be sober and not be sober anymore? It's like, do I care about myself to make decisions that are for my betterment that I don't want to do? You know?
Yeah.
Cause you a party boy, you do shit like I did. It's cool to have a sober day, all this type of shit, but you prefer to be turned up. You prefer to just be off on the rails and doing whatever the fuck. But making a decision to be hydrated, you're drinking water, eating, sleeping at the right time is, to some people, difficult.
It is definitely difficult.
You know?
Yeah. And there's different levels to it.
So confronting that and being a parent to myself. Might be a word. Agreeing to that relationship and agreeing to be responsible for myself.
I was curious just because knowing your story, knowing your journey, you came into TDE as being the next thing. And then it was, did that ever affect you in a way where you're like, everyone says I'm this, but maybe I don't feel that way, so I'm gonna choose something else?
I ain't never felt like what people said I was.
Okay.
The worst thing I probably could have did was try to live up to it. Cause I'm getting so much love just for just being myself. I'm not the next anybody. I'm just Isaiah,
Definitely.
And I think I've always been there. I think it might have been a certain sect of people who wanted me to be the next whoever. But they just wanted something new. And at the very least, I did that. Gave them something new.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
You gave us your art.
Thank
and I'm
you.
so excited to hear it this summer and this fall.
This summer and this fall and all next year. Get ready for it, baby.
All right.
It's gonna be a hell of a ride.
I'm ready. I'm with you. I'm with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Do we shake up or do we like hug this time leaving out?
We do the fist bump. Yeah. What? Oh no.